Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. End of February, end of this month's pens in use. Been a really good month. The idea this month was to use pens up, and I've certainly managed to do that. Join me now down on the mat. Let's have a look at the 6 pens that I started the month with. We'll give them a ranking. Then we'll take a quick look at the other pens that have been used up this month. Welcome down to the mat. So, the 6 pens I started off this month with: the Majohn T5 with Diamine Monboddos hat, Wingsung 699 and Pilot Blue, the Nahvalur or the Narwhal Schuylkill with the Pure Pens Celtic C, the Opus 88 Koloro with Diamine Sargasso C, a TWSBI VAC 700R with Diamine Spiced Apple, and then the Platinum 3776 Century with Cult Pens Little Bob. That's made by Diamine. So what are my ratings for this month? I'll be honest with you, I know I say this most months, it's very hard to pick between them. This month was particularly difficult. I've enjoyed using every single pen. I've really enjoyed the whole month. They've been a pleasure to work with. So I've been extremely picky, and to be honest, the pen that's going to come in at number 6, well, it could just have easily come in at position number 1. They're that close. Position number 6 this month, well, I've decided I'm going to give it to the Wingsung 699. This is the piston filling version. Hopefully you can see the piston there. Pen's empty at the moment. It's been a good month. I started the month with 44 inked pens, and I'm now down to 27, so gone through quite a lot of pens, and some of them, well, they were virtually empty, so I just used them up and they don't appear on this list. Why the 699 at position number 6? To be honest, it's very hard to say because it's a nice fit for the hand. It's that Pilot Custom 823 shape. Nice nib. The nib, it's a medium nib. Writes a bit of a fine line for me, as you can see here on my test. It's still been enjoyable to use. It's still been nice. Let me just pull out a writing sample from my Tomoe River paper. So here we go. So as you can see, we've got the Wingsung 699 Pilot Blue. You know, I can't out here. I really do love this pen. I think it's really nice. I enjoy using it. It's a bit like a schoolboy blue. So, you know, in that way, that's why I can really say number 6. Piston filler though, it holds a lot of ink. Writes really well. Really enjoyable experience. I say it was just purely, I had to come up with something to come in at position 6 because of the way I do these videos. So I decided that for this month, this is position number 6. Position 5, nothing to do with the pen, nothing really to do with the ink. It was just the combo. And I actually love the combo. But position number 5, move this up, I'm giving it to the TWSBI VAC 700R. This is in the iris pattern, there you can see there. Got a broad nib on that, and that had Diamine Spiced Apple. I love the colour of this ink. I love the way it works on paper. Hopefully we can see there. Got this nice gold sheen there coming through. Really nice. It's a pen I often reserve for these more unusual inks because it's easy to clean out. Now, one of the things you may notice here, and this is, to be honest, one of the reasons I marked it down, it's difficult to clean out. I mean, I must have been going at this for about 10 minutes. I've even passed it through my ultrasonic cleaner once, and I've still got that ink in there. I think I'm going to have to do another ultrasonic clean on this today. So it's not an easy pen to empty. It's a vacuum filler. That's part of the reason. So to open the top there, we pull up this. As we push down, we're building a vacuum up behind. It's very stiff. When we get down past here, see if I can do that again. As you can see how stiff it is. I may need to put some silicone grease on here as well. We get to about here. Inside you can see it's starting to widen. So as that plunger goes past that, it releases the vacuum, and that's what sucks the ink up. Do like the fact that we can close it off, so it's got a nice shut-off valve. I said, I really love the whole combo, but doesn't clean out very well. One of the things I was also finding is that occasionally it would stop writing. I'd just have to give it a shake and it would stop and it would start up again. So again, marking it down for that. So for this month, the TWSBI VAC 700R comes in at position number 5. Position 4. So this pen, it's the one that lasted me virtually all month. I cleaned it out 2 days ago. It had gone through the whole month. And this is, if I move the page down, you can actually see it there. This is the Majohn T5. Medium nib, 24 Aussie dollars. Really like this pen. As I said, I really liked all these pens. I like the shape of this. It's a nice fit in the hand. I actually quite like the colour of it. Now you can see that gorgeous purple coming through. Ink window. Yep, that's nice. You can see the ink, sort of. Now the ink I had in here was very dark and it seemed to be quite viscous. So I actually struggled to see what the ink levels were, especially as it was getting lower and lower. You know, the whole window would be coated. So what I'd have to do is leave it stood like that for about 20 minutes. That would clear that window and then slowly turn it around just so I could see what the ink level was. To be honest, that's the main reason I'm marking it down. It's a piston filler, nice and smooth. It's a medium nib and it's a good medium line. I do think there's a difference between the medium line that we're seeing here and what we see with that Wingsung 699. Might just be me, but I think there is a difference. It's comfortable to use. Section a little bit on the narrow side. Would have been nice just to be fractionally bigger. Holds a lot of ink. As I said, it lasted the whole month. It looks classy. It's smooth to write with. Mainly, it was the ink window. So for that reason, this comes in at position number 4. I haven't been showing you the writing samples, have I? Let me just quickly show you the writing samples for the two we've just looked at. You know, I've got the book sat there and I keep forgetting to show you it. So here's my writing sample on 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. This is for the TWSBI VAC 700R. There you go. As you see, it looks lovely. Love this gold sheen on it. Really like it. It's just a bit high maintenance in that. And then the other pen we want to look at, well, that's over the page. So here we've got the Majohn T5 and Diamine Monboddos hat. Still struggle with spelling that. Again, it's nice, fairly flat really. There's not a lot of shading. There's not a lot really of anything to really jump home. But it's a nice ink. It's a standard ink. It's an ink that performs really well. Position number 3. Again, had to think long and hard about this. You know, I really enjoyed all of these. Position 3, though, I've decided goes to the Platinum 3776. Let's move the page up. There we go. So we can see our sample down here. Again, it's a nice pen. It's a bit on the short side unposted. Posts well. Nice and comfortable to use posted. This is one of the few pens that I do use posted. The section seems a bit small, but it's actually quite comfortable when I've got my fingers down there. A little bit on the narrow side would be nice to be just a little bit wider. This one's a cartridge converter. So there we go. It's nice and clean. All the pens I started the month with, they're all empty. It's a gold nib, 14 karat gold nib. It's a medium nib, but that's a Japanese medium, not a Western medium. And I've got to be honest, it was the line that it puts down. That's what made me put it in this position. Let's fetch in that Tomoe River paper. Here we go. So there's a Platinum 3776 Century. This little bob is gorgeous. It's like the background colour is like a really nice red. There we go. Like a, I don't know, a purple maybe rather than red. But it's got a mass amount of gold sheen and you can really see it. I mean, to my eye, looking at this, I've got to be honest, I would say I was writing with a gold ink because virtually every letter, the whole of it looks like it's gold. Absolutely gorgeous ink. Writes really well in this pen, looks really well. I mean, I picked it because of the base colour being the match, but I love that gold sheen there. I say the only issue to me, it is very fine. It's my fault. Before I bought this, I didn't really understand about the full width of the nib sizes. So I thought, look, let's get a medium. I would like to get another one of these, but I would get either a broad, or I think it is music nib that Platinum do. You know, the really wide nib, where it's a bit like an architect type of nib. So I'd want something different than just this plain medium. It's nice, but doesn't really float my boat, if you know what I mean. So we've decided this month that's position number 3. Position number 2. Had to think long and hard about this. You know, we're getting down at the business end now. Position number 2. Well, I thought, let's give that to the Nahvalur Schuylkill. This is in Paul Peter Navy. Another piston filling pen. Look at those gorgeous colours in it. Now, this had a broad Yoho nib in it. Really like that. Really love the nib. You can see here just how wide that line is. And that pure pen Celtic C, or Celtic C, I can never pronounce that right the first time. Again, I love that. Let me just fetch in the Tomoe River paper. So here's my writing on Tomoe River. Love the colour of this ink. It's no shading. There's not really anything which jumps off. It's just a beautiful bright blue ink. I think it looks really nice. Very nice wide line, as you can see. So just go down to the bottom of that. One of the things I have done, I've now cleaned this pen out, obviously. You can see there the ink window, there's nothing in there. Very similar to the ink window on the T5. I do find it difficult sometimes because it's not very wide. I've actually swapped the nib. So in here now, I've got a Nahvalur medium nib. Very easy to swap the nibs. It literally unscrews. Let me just do it live on camera for you. I'm just gently holding the nib. I know maybe I shouldn't be unscrewing the pen part. I should be unscrewing the nib. It unscrews and then comes out. Go back together, just slot it in and screw it back together again. Keep going until it's nice and tight. So that's it. That's all it is to change the nib. I changed it with my Nahvalur 365, which is the Cano Cristals that had this medium nib. I've now put that broad nib in there. I like broad nibs. I love that Cano Cristals. It's such a beautiful pen. And I'm hoping with the broad nib, it will look really nice. I haven't inked up yet. Got loads of pens inked, as I've already said. But I'll be inking that up in the next month or so to see how that goes. It was really difficult. I see, this could have been number 1. I just had to pick between the two. Why am I putting this at position number 1? Well, again, I'm going to have to say the only reason I can come up with it's the ink window. So this comes in at position number 2. So by default, we can see what pen comes in at position number 1. That's the Opus 88 Koloro. Here it is. Really nice pen. Very bouncy nib. For me, it's the nib which has really made this. A lot of the other nibs this month, they felt quite stiff. This one, it's got this gorgeous bounce to it, and I've really enjoyed that. This pen, I'll actually show you because it's empty, is an eyedropper. So to fill it, all I do is get my blunt nose syringe and very gently put ink in there. Holds an awful lot of ink. Let me just put this back together. I believe it's referred to as a Japanese eyedropper because this blind cap here releases this plunger at the bottom which actually seals off the body from the section. So if you're going to be flying or anywhere, if there is a problem, you only lose the ink that's in the section, not the ink that's in the body. It's a nice, comfortable pen. Yes, I'd like it a little bit longer. It doesn't matter. It's really nice to use. I love the width of the section. That's nice and wide. The pen will post. I don't use it posted, but it is usable. But I say for me, it's long enough unposted. I like the colours. So we've got teal and blue. This teal here does make it sometimes a bit difficult to see the ink level. You need to squint a little bit and get the light right. But it's easy enough that you can see what your ink level is. Let's fetch in the Tomoe River paper. So here's my writing there, Diamine Sargasso C. Really nice blue. Again, it's a nice bright blue. I do see shading in this ink. And I'm not certain, but I think there may be a slight bit of a red sheen. If it is, it's very subtle, but I'm sure at times I've caught a little bit of red coming through when I've been looking at this. It's a nice pen to write with. As I say, it's very, very soft. It's nice, it's bouncy. The ink, it's another ink. I often spell the name wrong. Managed to get it right now, Sargasso. I don't know why, but I got myself convinced it was called Sargasso, and I was writing that for months. But with all this in mind, we're going to come in at position number 1. So let's move that one out of the way. Now, as I said, I have used other pens this month. A number of them, they didn't have much ink in it, so I put them straight away. What I'm going to do is just turn over the page, and then we'll look at the 4 main pens that I've also used this month. So the next 4 pens, the first one was the Ranga Santa. Here we go. This is a pen I ordered mid-December, received it Christmas Eve. I'd have loved to have it earlier in the year because, it is to me a Christmas pen. It's called Santa. It's gorgeous red and white here. I've got on here a 1.1 stub nib, and this was by Yoho. You do pay extra to get the Yoho nibs. I do have another Ranga with a Ranga nib. Writes perfectly well. I just thought, let's explore a bit. Plus, I've got a Yoho stub now. I can put that onto any pen, really. This one is a cartridge converter. There we go. Could be used eyedroppered. I may try that with this one. This is a pen, as I say, December. It's going to be a must-use in December each year. Actually, same as the Benu Talisman. We'll look at that one in a second. The ink I put in here was Diamine Poppy Red. Again, I think it's a nice bright red ink. Matches this red here. I don't have a sample of writing on Tomoe River paper. I don't know, I must have forgot to do it. Very enjoyable. Nice fit in the hands. There we go. I like the colouring. Shouts Santa, shouts Christmas. I did reply to a YouTube comment the other day, and I said what I might actually do with this. Because I've got this one, and I've got the Talisman. I may look at doing some kind of Christmas in July theme later in the year. Not sure. We'll see how I feel as we go on. Because otherwise, this is likely to be put away, and it won't come out till mid-November. But that's a Ranga Santa. The next pen I've got, and this is the only one that's still got ink in at the end of the month, is the HongDian N7. This is the Peacock. I love the way this looks. I've got Dominant Industry Forest in there. I'm not certain that this is the right colour for this. What I'm toying with is, when this is empty, I may try something like either Diamine Marine or Aqua Lagoon, or maybe even Eau de Nil. I think they might match better. I mean, yes, we've got quite a lot of green there in the cap, but the body, to my eye, it's more blue. What lets this pen down for me is the nib. It's a nice nib, don't get me wrong, it's fine. My preference is for medium or broad nibs. What I'm toying with is, once this is empty, I may see if I can swap this nib for, I've actually got a cursive italic that I may try in here. That's something I need to look at. Got an ink window. Again, I know I'm being very picky and it's my old man eyes. I'd like to have seen this ink window a bit bigger. I know there's ink in there. I just struggle to see what the level is. It's a piston filler. Obviously, I'm not going to work it because there's that ink in there. It's a bit short in the hand. It's usable, and I use this unposted. I like the section. It's fairly straight. There's no lip at the bottom, so when I'm using it, my fingers, they're not digging into a lip. I hold my pens down near the bottom, so when there's a lip, I do find that uncomfortable. Altogether, though, quite a nice pen. Let's look at the writing sample for this. So here we go. So the N7 and Forest. Again, let's just fetch the pen in. The green of the forest ink, I think, is not too bad of a match for the colour there that we see in the cap. Again, not much in the way of shading. There is a little bit. I want to get in, as I say, that broad nib, maybe a medium, see how it goes. The nib, I am thinking, cursive italic, not sure. I've not actually had that nib in a pen yet, so I'm not sure if I'll get on with it. So I might not put it straight in there. I might try a different pen first. We'll see how it goes. My next pen, this is the Benu Talisman. This is Dragon's Blood. It's also what I refer to as my Christmas pen. The green, the red, just reminds me of Christmas. I'm thinking about Christmas decorations, the tinsel and the baubles and the Christmas tree. That's what this reminds me of. It's a cartridge converter. It looks like all the fittings are plastic, so I think it's possible that this could be eyedroppered. Not sure, there don't seem to be many threads there where the body goes on, so I'd have to hum and haw about that. But if it's something that you want to experiment with, yeah, it might be worth trying. It's a nice fit in the hand. It's a nice nib. It's another soft nib. I do like my soft nibs. That's one of the things I'm discovering at the moment. The ink in here is Diamine Best Wishes. Not sure if it shows very well on here. You can see there the red sheen to it, but there's also a shimmer in there. You're just fetching. This is the Tomoe River paper. Hopefully we can see this better on here. So what we've got is we've got a red sheen to the ink. There's also a green shimmer in there. And one of the things I was noticing with this is the feed was getting blocked. If I left it for a day or two, I would come back and it wouldn't write because the feed was blocked. So now it's empty. I've given it a really good clean out. It's the actual nib part and the feed. That's had a couple of passes through an ultrasonic cleaner. So hopefully next time that I ink this up, I won't get any issues with that shimmer. I need to see. The ink I've had in here in the past, Diamine Garland, I had never had a problem with it. So I just wonder if it's the size of the shimmer particles in this Diamine Best Wishes. My final pen. We're near the end of the video. The final pen I have filled this month. This was the Leonardo Furore. This has got a 1.1 stub nib. I believe it's made by Yoho. And there we go. It's Leonardo branded. That might be a possible future video to compare my Yoho 1.1 in the Santa with this 1.1. They're both made by the same manufacturer. Be interesting to see what the differences are. This one is a captured converter. The ink, yes, you can still see there's a bit of ink in there. That's because I was using this one this morning and it ran dry. So rather than wash it out before I did the video, I thought I better record first, then I'm going to give it a clean out. Look on the Tomoe River paper. Here we go. Leonardo Furore, Diamine Ghost. I'm calling out it's a nice combo. I like grey inks in this pen. I think grey inks look nice. I normally have Earl Grey, but I thought I'd give this Ghost a try. Not sure yet. I don't think I'll put this back in here. I'll go back to Earl Grey, I think. It's nice. It's enjoyable. I like this white salt version. I think it looks nice. It looks different. Only thing to be aware of, if you're filling by dipping the nib, chances are you'll get stain in here. It's inside. It's where ink gets trapped between the nib housing and this section. It's easy to clean. You just unscrew the nib and then you can give it a quick rinse. Very easy to do. Doesn't seem to have stained. As a result, I now remove the converter and I use a blunt nose syringe to fill it. That seems to have avoided any more of that staining issue. But yeah, Leonardo Furore, beautiful pen to write with. Really enjoyed writing with that one. So they're the pens that I've been using this month. Let's do one quick swap of the view and we'll take a final look at the pens for this month. So here's the pens I was using during February of 2023. The Wingsung 699 with Pilot Blue, the TWSBI VAC 700R with Diamine Spiced Apple, the Majohn T5 with Diamine Monboddos hat, the Platinum 3776 Century with Cult Pen's Little Bob, the Narwhal or Nahvalur Schuylkill with Pure Pen's Celtic Sea, the Opus 88 Koloro with Diamine Sargasso Sea, the Ranga Santa with Diamine Poppy Red, the HongDian N7 with Dominant Industry Forest, the Benu Talisman with Diamine Best Wishes, and a Leonardo Furore with Diamine Ghost. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What pens have you been using this month? Have you been able to use up any pens that have been sat around inked up and you've just been wanting to use them? Please drop your comments, drop your thoughts down below. Let's kickstart some conversations. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.